For more on this, we're now joined by Hassan Choonara, who's Regional Director of the Africa Muslim Agency, Humanitarian Aid Agency, that's offering some relief to parts of KwaZulu-Natal. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program. I just wonder, what are you seeing on the ground at the moment?
Well, Peter, obviously, first of all, thanks again to you and your team for having us on your show. The Globe, it's a pleasure to be on. You know, obviously, the recent incessant rains has caused mass destruction, like you've covered already in your various news bulletins. Our teams are seeing firsthand at the moment various areas. You know, Peter, you see in KZN, there are many low-felt lying areas. There are a lot of suburbs and informal settlements where people are living off the cliff of mountains and living in informal settlement environments like shacks, so to speak. And unfortunately, these rains with the mud has caused massive mudslides, and a lot of people have lost their basic necessities or their homes. So that's what we're seeing at the moment. Peter, if you want me to share our experience for the day.
Yes.
We woke up obviously early hours of the morning and visited a disaster management center, handing out blankets. And then our officers started receiving calls from an area called Burnhood. And we went out to Burnhood, and as our teams arrived to Burnhood, outside one of the homes, there was 4 body bags next to the house where we pulled up, and the gentleman came to us and he said, well, 4 people just passed on in this home because of a mudslide. And it was still early part of the morning, and it was really heart-wrenching to see that, you know, these bodies were there, and the one person survived of the home. There were 5 people in the home, 1 survived, 4 passed on. And amongst, you know, that there were people that I need, and obviously we came there with blankets and hot meals and food items, and so the team started helping the community of Burnhood. And then later on, we were taken to one of the shacks that were in one of the back homes, the back areas. And, you know, the shack is obviously built into the ground. And so with the mudslide was kind of firm, and there was somebody trapped inside, and, you know, they were trying to get him out, trying to, you know, break down, trying to make an open way so to get the person out from inside. Also, we just got news from one of the employees of a mosque, not too far from there, also lost his life. The person who calls out the prayer, the call to prayer, he lost his life as the walls inside the mosque collapsed, and he lost his life. And so many areas around, as you covered in the news bulletin, Peter, 45 people have already lost their lives. You've seen all areas affected, and people are in need, especially with the rain. Yes, it's cleared up a bit now in the evening, but with more expected, you know, many people are seeking assistance, and the teams are out there giving out blankets, food, and other essential items, because people need essentials, you know, like soaps, etc. And these are the items that have been given out to people. We also look at raincoats, etc., blankets, mattresses, as many people have lost their place of shelter.
One gets a sense from what you're saying and the number of calls that you receive that the emergency services are quite overwhelmed at the moment by the numbers of people in need.
Absolutely, Peter. Absolutely. If you look at the vast area of you know, different areas of where the roads have been cut off, bridges have been broken down with the water, rivers are overflowing. You know, it's not just one kind of township or one kind of suburb to focus on. It's quite a vast number of area, and so the teams are kind of spread thin. But there are many other organizations also on the ground, not just the African Muslims Agency. Yes, the African Muslims Agency teams are on the ground. There are many other organizations. There are government bodies. There's disaster management teams also playing a role. But like you said, they spread thin at the moment, overwhelmed with the calls that are coming in for people who are in assistance. As we speak right now, Peter, you know, there are many people tonight who are in need, who perhaps last night had a roof over their head, and tonight they're out in the cold, or they're wet, or lost a loved one in a different situation than what they were last night, not expecting that 24 hours later their life would be turned around.
With these mudslides, sometimes once the event has happened, people go back to try and see if their properties are still there. And I suppose this is a danger because you just don't know what's going to happen next. Are there people still milling around and maybe not evacuating as quickly as they should, given they've got fears for their property, I guess.
When you think about it, yes, disaster management is spread thin. So obviously they're giving out the various cautions of where people can and cannot go. But there's a vast number of areas where they're not covering, unfortunately, and not through any fault of their own. But I mean, if you and I, and God protect us all, if you were in your home and lost your home or partially lost your home, and tonight you're out in the cold, so to speak, naturally, your natural inclinations to go back to your home and look for any belongings or try to get some sort of items of warmth, or just be connected to your home or a place that you called home, irrespective of what kind of a structure it was, whether it was a shack environment in informal settlement, whether it was a brick structure, whatever it is. But your natural inclination as human beings, you're going to go to that space again because it was your place of safety. And ironically, it was the place of safety. And with the mudslides, it no longer is. But yeah, of course, there are people who are, going back to their homes, trying to find some sort of solace and trying to just kind of make the means to get by the night, I suppose, not even looking for tomorrow, but just get by the night. You think of those people who are now in the centers that have been set up in various localities, in the schools, in the halls. Tomorrow what will happen? The next day what will happen? How long will they stay there? You don't want a situation where people become dependent for a long period of time. You want to get them back on their feet and get them back to some sort of normality within this short space of time.
All right, so tonight and in the coming days, what are your priorities in terms of the kind of help that you can give and that is most needed?
The teams are active on the ground right now, Peter. The African Muslim Agency teams, they are handing out blankets, they're giving out hot meals, they're giving out essential items, mattresses, blankets, raincoats as well. We're also monitoring the weather patterns because this could affect the situation further in the coming days. At the moment, it's cleared up, and we pray that it does clear up to allow those who are active on the ground to try and assist as fast and as quickly as possible. So we're monitoring the situation, monitoring the weather patterns, but in the meantime, we're seeing to the bottleneck, we're seeing to the hour of need, and we're assisting people right now in terms of that urgent need and trying to bring some sort of hope and dignity to these families, irrespective of race, color, religion. Like you saw in your news bulletins, the vastness of the damage and the destruction around KZN, and we just pray that people are able to be safe in that part of the world and able to get people who lost their lives, who lost family members. To think about them, they lost family members, but they also lost structure in their lives in terms of a home or belonging. And so that's complete destruction or devastation to their life, and we hope they get peace soon.
Hassan, thanks very, very much indeed for joining us, and thank you for the work that you're doing on the ground, trying to help these desperate people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for having us, and thank you to all the donors who assist us regularly. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's Hassan Choonara, who's a regional director of the Africa Muslim Agency, humanitarian agency that's offering some assistance and help to the many people that are finding themselves destitute and desperate in KwaZulu-Natal as a result of the floods that are taking place at this time.